clap for you. Just let me know when you're ready. All right. Hey, yo, what up, though? Welcome to the Living Purpose Podcast, where we educate, motivate, and celebrate those who are positively affecting the community and the culture. All right, so I'm your host, Brad B. Rad Butler II, and I'm here with my guy, Antoine Nelson. What's good with you, bro?
Hey man, thanks for inviting me. Thanks for inviting me.
Nah. So, all right, I know you personally. Like we hung out before, kicked it before, different events, things of that nature. I've seen some of the work that you've done in the community. You've seen some of the work that I've done as a speaker and things like that. And naturally, you gravitate to those individuals.
Absolutely.
Um, so we actually met at Sean Hart's event. That was the first time we ever met
No,
in person.
we met before that.
You're right. I'm bugging because you brought that up to me before that we did meet in
We
person.
met at serving for ET.
That's right. That's
Two
right.
different occasions. One was in Philly.
Yep.
And then one was in Brooklyn.
Yep. Yep. So shout out to ETA, the whole family, Dr. Eric Thomas, Carla CJ Quinney, Carl Phillips, whole ETA squad. Without y'all, I wouldn't be here. I don't know. We wouldn't be here, bro. We wouldn't be doing the work that we're doing.
Me serving at those events for Eric Thomas, CJ, and the rest of the guys, and the ladies, Nikki, all of them.
Yeah.
Was like one of the turning points, like just me being around like-minded individuals and seeing people moving in the direction that I want to move is a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, let the people know like, who you are, the work that you do in the community, where you from, all that.
Okay, so my name is Antoine Nelson, born and raised in Elizabeth, New Jersey. My title, when people ask me what am I, what do I do, I say a mentor. So I'm a mentor. I mentor adults. I mentor at-risk youth, and that's right there is what I love to do. But besides that, I have a clothing line. I also run a rental car business, and I'm out here in the community trying to pave a different direction for my people.
Right. Because within the urban communities, a lot of times the only thing that some of our youth think that they can do or be is be in the NBA, NFL, play some type of sport, be a rapper, be an entertainer, that type of thing. But from what the work that you do, you've been able to show them that there's other ways for you to be successful. You could be a business owner.
Absolutely.
So with the car rental business that you have, is that through Toro?
Yeah.
That's a play.
That's one of the platforms I use. There's a couple different platforms like Get Around and Hire Car. Toro is the most popular, but yeah, I use that. I've been doing that going on a year now.
Okay. Yeah, and that's lucrative.
Yeah,
that's literally a way to turn a liability into an asset instantly, right? So you have the mentorship program for the adults and also for the at-risk youth. You have the car program. You got the clothing line. I know y'all probably can't see it, but on the belt that he got on right now, the belt buckle. Yeah, you got the AN on the belt buckle. But I'm surprised you didn't come through with the whole drip on. Like,
nah, not today. But I usually do, and I keep it on me. I keep it with me. I don't leave out the house with not at least. I gotta have at least one piece on.
Right.
Something on. Yeah.
Okay. No. So I know if y'all don't know about Antoine, my man, I'm talking about shirts, hoodies, pants. Like I've seen you with the whole fit.
Yeah.
The whole fit. I'm talking about from head to toe. Yeah. All Antoine Nelson.
That feel good to like wear your own brand, like rep
absolutely.
your own brand, like, and for other people to rep your brand too. That's is a beautiful thing.
Right, because most people don't. It's not just you and people that's like a part of your team that wear your clothes. Yeah. You got people all throughout your community that, like, literally, they are walking around representing your brand like it's Nike, like it's Adidas, like it's Puma, like it's one of those big brands out there. They're rocking your brand.
Yeah.
So, like, that has got to be a great feeling.
Nah, it feel good. It feel good just being somewhere and I see somebody rocking a brand, and especially somebody I don't know. That make it more like it's just more beautiful for me. Like, and I'm gonna continue doing the clothing thing. I had a couple bumps in the road doing it. Some lessons I learned, but I've also I learned a lot from it. I've I've networked with vendors outside of the country. I got connects in Pakistan and connects in China that do a lot of good work, and connects in all over this country. So I've grown, and I also teach others how to start clothing lines.
Right. Now, with the work that you do, you don't do it like part-time. You do this full-time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's
No
the
days
difference.
off.
That's the difference with some other cats that's out there. And ain't no knock to y'all. I'm just saying that because everybody starts off part-time trying to get it right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you've done this long enough and had enough experience and mastered your craft enough that you've been able to sustain yourself full-time with the mentorship program for the youth, for the adults, with the clothing line, and with the car business that you have. That you're like, I don't necessarily need to go to a job. Nothing wrong with it. We've all worked one, but I don't need to rely on the 9 to 5s. I can do this my way.
Yeah.
So
see, the thing for me is, I've worked in a nonprofit field, working with underserved populations, working in halfway houses, homeless shelters. Over the last 10, 15 years, working my way up, I've learned the business side of a lot of those systems, and I learned how much that some of these organizations was making off the work that I was doing,
right.
off the programs that I was creating, off the curriculums that I was creating. So, as I moved up the ladder, I started to, I kept my network, and I moved on and started doing my own thing. Very excited today. Actually, I'm presenting to a whole council, Youth Services Advisory Council in Burlington County, presenting my programs to them, letting them know that we here.
And it works.
Yeah, and it works. And we making an impact, and I'm providing data and showing you testimonies and people who will vouch for and let you know that everything that's going on is valid.
Right. So that's a lesson for anybody who's watching this right now. If you're, working on your workshops, your programs, courses, whatever it is that you have going on, and you're saying to yourself, why aren't I getting the opportunities that I feel like I deserve? I know that my program works. The problem is you don't have empirical evidence. Like you don't have the data that drives it saying that this works. You don't have the testimonials from the community, from the students, from the people that you work with saying that, yes, this works because of the program that you have. I was able to do this. It solved this problem. So the problem is, it's not that you're not solving a problem in the community. The problem is that you're not proving that you solved the problem in the community. So you're just going to be a work for hire if you keep doing it that way, right? You're going to constantly be like up and down, trying to figure out, find like the next opportunity. But when you have the data and it's written down, written format, right? Proposals, that's when it's like, okay, this is the proof on a written format. And like we can record, because my thing is I do the video. I always make sure I record every speaking engagement that I'm at, right? And that's how I've been able to.
I picked up for you too. Shout out to Brad for coming through Lawrence High School.
Oh yeah,
he came through and spoke to the kids. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. You already know, man. You don't even got to ask twice. You good people with me. Anytime I see anyone who's doing the work in the community to help the youth, help the people, wanting to move things in a positive direction, creating a positive narrative about what it is that we can do, what we can create for our community, for our people, just in general, I'm there, hands down, right? So, no, I thank you for thinking of me, and giving me the opportunity to come in and do that because, that's just off the strength. I ain't want nothing from it. I'm just like, I just want to be there and serve. So, okay, so we've talked about, the things that you've been able to accomplish, the things that you've done. Super proud of the work that you've done. And I know the whole community, your family has got to be proud of the work that you've done. So tell me, before you became this mogul, right, basically, this mogul that you currently are, who was Antoine Nelson in the very beginning? Like, where did you come from? Like, what? Come on, take us all the way back.
And if we could go all the way back.
Throw it back like a car seat.
We go all the way back. I go back to like my elementary school days and my middle school days. I was academically, I was like all A student. just all through like the beginning of high school, all A student. But I just hung around some of the kids that was getting into a little trouble. And I could recall my I think it was my 10th grade year. A lot of my friends was running around in the streets or whatever, and I started to follow suit. With the people who influenced around me, and not for nothing, like the people that I saw that I felt like had money and was somewhere I wanted to be or had something that I wanted, those were actually drug dealers and people who were in the streets. But those were my influences. So I took that route, which ended up with me having to do 4 years in prison. So it took probably about a year into that. I was like, this is not the place for me. This is not what I saw for myself. I was supposed to be going to Morehouse.
Okay.
Like that was my thing. I was supposed to be going to Morehouse. I used to carry all the Morehouse stuff around, but once I got into getting money, it changed it sent me to a detour, and I did the time, and while I was in there, I did everything that I could do to make the time work for me positively. So I took every class I could take. I took paralegal courses. I was a jailhouse lawyer. If anybody caught institutional charges, I represented them. I worked in the law library. I used to write letters to the judges and getting people home, all types of stuff. And when I came home, it was, back to business. It was like, all right, I need to get this degree. Not for nothing. I told my mother that I was going to get a bachelor's degree, and I wanted to do that for myself. I was going to be one of the first people in my family to graduate from college, one of the first people from my area, from my hood, to graduate from college. I wanted to show people that it can happen, it's attainable, and I did that. I went to Burlington County College, took some classes in Union County College. Then I ended up transferring to Rutgers in Camden, where I graduated with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And the thing about that was me being in the system and, being in trouble, I learned the illegal side of the game. I went to Rutgers, and they taught me the legal side of the game.
Right.
So I was lethal after that, coming back out of that, and I look back probably once. I probably stumbled once, but overall, and especially like the last 5 years, I've been on it. Like not playing. I know. Playing. Like last 5-6 years, I've been on it. I've been making moves. I've been getting around people. If I see somebody that's doing something that I'm interested in, I'm talking to them.
Right.
I'm not shying. I'm being direct.
Beeline,
like,
straight to him.
What's going on? B-Rad, what it is that I see you doing that? Can I come check you out? Like, yeah. I want to be around. You got to be around the people that's making the moves in order to. It's a different feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when they say the 5 people you be around, you start to become them. That really is very, very true. Mm-hmm. So I started to be like I was listening to E.T. clips. The first one, You Want It As Bad As You Could Breathe. I used to always listen to that. I had that as my alarm, like early, and then I'm listening to a lot of E.T. and I'm like, all right, I need to. This was a turning point for me, right? I was dealing with a lot of pride, especially as a man. Like, I don't like to ask for help. And a lot of men don't like to ask for help, right? So I got up with Neo.
Okay, and,
yeah.
Nehemiah Davis.
Yeah,
my guy. Shout out to Nehemiah Davis.
Shout out to Nehemiah. He's doing it really big out here now. Nehemiah was one of my first mentors, and Sean Hart was one of my first mentors.
Right.
I reached out to both of them.
Shout out to Sean Hart.
Yeah, I reached out to both of them and asked them could they mentor me, and they both said yeah, and it's been on since then.
Right. Now, I was listening pretty intently to the part where you were saying that when you got pinched, right, and you had to do a bid. Now, during that time when you were there, I know you said it was about a year that you were in there,
4.
and I know, I mean that a
Oh,
year
yeah,
that when that actually like clicked in your mind when something
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
What was it that you immediately like did differently that you were like, okay, I'm not about to become institutionalized.
Yeah.
I'm not about to look around here and think that what's going on in here is normal,
Yeah.
right? Because with my father, he got knocked because he was doing some stuff outside the law. People know my story, so you already know. But it's like when he was in there, he was like, all right, listen, I'm gonna just do this time and get up out of here, but I'm not gonna get comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get used to this lifestyle. Like, this is not right. I should not be in here with another man. This ain't it. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
So what shifted in your mind, or what did you actually do? What action steps did you take where you was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do so that I don't go crazy while I'm in here?
Yeah, so one of the first things I did was I wrote myself a letter,
Okay.
right? I wrote, and I still have that letter to this day. Shout out, this year will be 19 years since I left prison.
Wow.
19 years, but I wrote myself a letter, right? And on the letter, I had my do's and my don'ts.
Okay.
Some of the stuff that I know that I need to do when I get back out there, and some of the stuff that I know I don't need to do.
Non-negotiables.
Yeah. So, but at that time, I still wasn't sure if I was gonna sell drugs.
Okay.
But I did know I didn't want to be hanging out on nobody's block no more, right?
Right.
So I wanted to be real with myself. I didn't say I'm not gonna sell drugs because I didn't really know. I didn't know how I was gonna get. I had never had a job. I came home 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this a lot. I came home, I was 25 years old. I had 3 kids, child support. Never had a job before. No work history and a criminal record. Right? So I had a lot of strikes against me. So I knew I had to find I had to add some I had to get a degree. To get on at least a more even playing field with the people that I was competing for these jobs for. And another thing that clicked for me, because I was working 2 and 3 jobs because I didn't have a job history. So I had to build a job history so when I come to another job, I could show that I was doing some other things. So once I built my job history and I still was going to school, I started to realize, like, well, I crashed.
Oh, like a physical, actual
car
accident.
I was working 2 jobs, going to school, and every day I delivered the newspaper.
Okay, I did that too.
The Trentonian to Wawa's and 7-Elevens all through the county. So one day, I fell asleep and I knocked somebody's mailbox over, and I was like, "Oh no!" I mean, I'm trying to get out of child support, the hole. I'm trying to get out of that hole, trying to take care of my kids, trying to get right. But I can't work 3 jobs. It's breaking me.
Right.
Like, so I needed more skills.
Right. Okay.
I needed more skills. Besides a degree, I needed more skills. I needed to learn more things because me working 3 jobs was never going to take me to any type of wealth. Right. So I know that I needed to find hobbies. I needed to find, I call them hustles. I needed to find different hustles. So I could work 1 job and maybe I could do a job from home and I could still be around my kids and have that balance. So, man, and I could tell you I worked every job that you could think of.
You and me both.
Every job that you could think of. People look at me now and be like, yo, you got what? I was working, I did the street sweeper. I did the driving medical patients to their appointments. I worked in the produce section of Pathmark. I worked overnight stocking at Acme. I worked telemarketing at A Great Mortgage Company in Mount Laurel. That's the name of it, A Great Mortgage Company. I remember the whole spiel.
Wow.
Like, I worked every job. I worked warehouses. I worked every job in order to build my history. So, like now where I'm at, all of those jobs that I'm saying, they're not even on my resume.
Right.
Because I done put more skilled positions on that resume, and it, so that's one thing I would say to anybody, like, that's coming home or in a position where you're trying to build. I also want to say this so I won't forget it. One of my secret sauces was
that's what we want. That's what we want to hear.
Just like one of my secret sauces, because it's a lot stacked against you. Like when you coming home and you got the record and you never had a job and you just out here and people know you for what you used to do.
Right.
So one of my things was giving back.
Okay. All right. Break that down.
Giving back was the secret sauce, right? Because at first I remember the first like event I went to and I realized like I went to a breast cancer walk, right?
Okay.
It was one of my friend's mother. God bless. She just passed away. One of my friend's mothers. I did the breast cancer walk with her, and I'm out there. We in Newark, and it's like a million people out here, and I'm like, everybody's out here walking for free. Like nobody's paying them to come out here. They just doing it with the strength.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is pretty cool, like to give back and help the people. And not for nothing, I felt like in my community that I was once a part of the destruction of the community.
Right.
So I wanted to be a part of the solution now. So I started volunteering, just doing volunteer work here and there where I can with the people that I knew. I started doing some tutoring in elementary schools in Camden. I just started like just giving back. And as I'm giving back, I'm networking with other people that's doing these same things. And then I'm starting to network with elected officials and organization CEOs of organizations. And they like, okay, we doing this next week. Can you come here? And then from them inviting me to volunteer things, they like, oh, we got a paid position here to do this. Or come out here, we want to invite you to, we having a dinner. I want to introduce you to a couple people.
Right.
And then it just kept going from there. So like now when I would go for a job and they was like, nah, we can't hire you, your criminal record too bad. We need a character letter. I'm getting a character letter from a assemblyman or a mayor, or a chief of police. So now it don't look like all right. It looked like all right. He doing something different now. He out here trying to make a difference. He not just a criminal trying to get this job. He is a criminal trying to rehabilitate himself and help his community.
Former criminal.
Former ex-offender.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Listen, like that's powerful because there's so many people. Like I know that hearing your story, there's somebody listening that's hearing your story right now who they in the jam right now. Like they just got out or they've been out for a little bit and they're stuck. Like I don't know what I'm going to do, and they're like they actually trying. Yeah. Like that's the thing where people the thing where people get it twisted, where they think that some of these people who have done something wrong, right? They operated outside the law. They did their time, right? They come home, and then they're still treated as if they are still out here committing crimes. Like, no, they already did their time. They served their time. They're just trying to be a upstanding citizen now. They want the same things out of life that you want. The only difference is they made a mistake when they were younger, and now they're rehabilitated and they're trying to do the right thing. And they'll end up going back to the same things that got them locked up in the first place if there are no opportunities for them to go out and build a better life for themselves, build a better life for their family, build a better life for their wife. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if you don't give these men and women an opportunity to actually be able to take care of themselves, they'll go right back to the same stuff. Why? Because that's all they know, right? So what I'm saying is, matter of fact, I'm going to say it like this. Anyone who's listening to this and you are stuck, right? Same type of situation as Antoine had. Just heed the words that you're hearing from Antoine, because he just gave you the blueprint on how you can put yourself in a situation where you're undeniable. Yeah. Because you put yourself in a situation where even though they might not have, wanted to rock with you in the very beginning, they had no choice, because what you would have done, what you proved to people, is that you were undeniably there and you weren't going nowhere. You're going to be at every march, every meeting, everything that they got going on that's about empowerment and helping the people. See, the thing is, most of you people, you walk into a situation with your hands out, asking for something, wanting something. But we've learned, especially learning for studying under ET, we've learned we walk into a situation, it's give, then ask. For you? Give, then ask. How can I help? How can I serve in this situation? Now, mind you, I don't want nobody to get it twisted and think that you're supposed to be the servant man or servant woman for your whole life. You're not. Because at some point, you have got to get to the point where you know how to build and make your own and create your own, right? But you do have to start off like, I need to get in the room. I need to get around the table. I need to get around the people because I need to hear the conversations that they're having. Yep. I need to know what they're doing, what they're interested in. Okay, how do I solve this problem? How do I do X, Y, and Z? That's where people are going completely wrong because they think just because they're gifted and they're talented that they deserve, that they are entitled to an opportunity to get paid and be around X, Y, and Z. No, bro, you got to earn that. And you paid your dues for years. Right? And then, so not only did you pay your dues as far as being incarcerated, you came out and you paid your dues some more in the community by giving back to the community, serving, helping out any way that you could, using your skill set to put yourself in a situation where people say, I can trust this guy. Exactly. I know, like, and trust Antoine Nelson. And that is why you are experiencing the success that you're experiencing right now. So same as me and anybody else that's out there, you have got to serve. You have got to work within the community, help the people, let them know that you are there to be an asset and not a liability to them.
Man. Yeah, I remember, right, when I first came home, and I counted it. I went on, and this may sound like a ridiculous number. No, I went on 66 job interviews before I got hired to a job. I went on 66 job interviews before I got hired to a job. Because first, I'm like, I came home, and I'm like, I feel like I'm worth a good paying job. So I went for all of those jobs. Right. What? So I didn't make it past, like, the first. And I realized, like, maybe I can't get a high paying job. Maybe I got to get a minimum wage job. But no. And went on more interviews. And I'm like, man, nobody hiring me. Then it was like, maybe I'm not dressed right. Let me go get me a suit. Got me a suit. Things got a little better. But the first job that hired me, the guy said, I only hired you because you had it on the suit and the other two dudes didn't. And he's like, I see you got a record. And this was my the third job. He was like, I see you got a record, but put you on a 90-day probationary period, right. See how it worked out. But it worked out. Like, it worked out. It was crazy because I'm working in halfway houses in Camden. This is the first halfway houses I worked in. And my brother, resident at the halfway house, one of my best friends. I'm seeing people, like, one of my best friends, Rara, he came through there, and I was behind a desk, like, filing some papers. And he was just coming in from prison, and he like, my nickname Peanut. He was like, Nut, what you doing behind that desk? And I'm like, I work here, because I hadn't seen him in a couple years because he had been gone. Right. So he like, what you doing behind that desk? He's like, I told him I work here, and he was like, what? There's no way, bro. I remember when we was, ain't no way you work here. There's no way. How you get this job? You got a record. And I'm like, they hired me, bro. Like. And he said, like, he really said, like, after that, he said he came to the halfway house. First, he was gonna get transferred because he from North Jersey. He didn't want to be there. When he saw I was there, he was like, all right, I'm gonna stay. And then he was like, if I could do it, like, get a job and go legit, I'm going to college. He's like, I ain't selling drugs no more. He said, I'm not selling drugs no more. And while he was in that halfway house, he got his CDLs. He been driving trucks ever since. He owned a truck. He got his own trucking business, everything. Right.
So, like, with that being said, it's crazy because people really think that saying all these different things about you, trying to make you feel some type of way, trying to make you feel sad, depressed, or ashamed of your past and some of the things you did, man, listen, we all been there before. And like I said, that dirt being thrown on you, that wasn't nothing but soil planting a seed. They ain't know. And so I don't even blame them. I'm like, hey, listen, it is what it is. You ain't know. Yeah. And then when you blossom, when you grow, when you bloom, and they see what you've grown into, you unrecognizable to them. Mm-hmm. they're like, yo, I can't even believe it. So in some way, shape, or form, it forces them to be like, well, man, they ain't better than me. Like, I could do. And here's the thing, I'm not. We not.
Nah.
We not better than nobody else. The only thing that changed and shifted for us is that we made a firm and steadfast decision that we weren't going to live in poverty anymore. We weren't going to live in lack anymore. We said we're going to live in purpose. We're going to do what we know that we were meant to do in life. Absolutely. And I suggest for anybody out there that's listening, if you haven't done it yet, if you haven't moved yet, to start, because it ain't too late yet. So, how much time we got left, man? How long we been talking? Because I want to make sure that I don't hold you up and you can get to your.
Nah, we good.
Okay, cool. All right, just wanted to make sure. So tell us what do you have coming down like the pipeline? Now I know you got the meeting coming up, but what else you got going on?
So
or what do you got planned? In the future.
So we have so Sons of Someone is a mentoring program. Me and a couple other fellas started back in 2014.
Where's that located at?
It's actually located in Union County and Burlington County now.
Okay.
I'm bringing it to Burlington County as well. So that is a male youth mentoring program, ages 8 to 18, where we go over everything that the schools don't teach them. We go over everything. I was just looking over some things now. When the Mike Brown situation came out, we did a mock trial.
Okay.
Did a mock trial for that. Like when a young man got shot in the area and the cops in the area, the kids felt like they don't like cops. We was in the classroom. They're like, we don't like cops. Cops bad. I know a couple great cops, right? So I invited them to come in and speak to my kids, and they left. They left knowing that, all right, it's some good cops and some bad cops. It's some good teachers, some bad teachers. And every profession is good and bad. Mm-hmm. So we left out of there with a different awareness of cops. We discussed everything. Besides that, we got the male group coming up where we give the men a safe space to express themselves, where we hold each other accountable. And we just share and we build off each other. Yeah. That right there, both of those programs, COVID kind of shut it down. Right. But we back. Okay. We back, yeah.
Okay. You want me to come through?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got you. For the youth group and for the adults.
Absolutely.
I got you. Just let me know. Let me know and we'll set it up. I got you.
What else we got coming up?
You got so much stuff going on, you don't even remember anything.
Yeah, got the probably gonna add a couple new cars to the fleet.
Okay. You got any new designs coming out for the clothing line?
Definitely got some new designs about to drop. I'm moving and shaking, man. I'm just trying to get to it, trying to find the lane that's gonna take me there.
I think you already on it. Like at this point, you just got multiple streams coming out.
Yeah. I'm really interested in these programs. I have an office in Mount Holly, Nelson Foundation office, and that's where we will be holding some of the meetings at. So I'm really excited to.
And is that the nonprofit?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Sons of Someone side is the nonprofit of it. The Nelson Foundation is the for-profit side of it. I do intensive one-on-one mentoring for people who need that extra attention. So
the Nelson Foundation, that's a 501c3.
No, the Sons of Someone is
that's the 501c3.
The Nelson Foundation is the for-profit.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, that's what's up. So as you can see, my man, he definitely got a whole lot of stuff going on. So if you are going to come to try to work with Antoine or anything like that, you got to come correct, right? Because when you got that much stuff going on, you really ain't got time to be playing around with the nonsense. Like you get, I'm sure you get it, just like I get it with people inboxing you and stuff like that. Yeah. Hey, man, let me pick your brain as soon as you pick your invoice.
Yeah.
Like, cause what happens with that is people, what they really saying is, please give me the information that you have paid tens of thousands of dollars to get for free.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna be able to do that, bro. I'm just not gonna be able to give you that.
I spend a lot of time and money on courses and training so I could provide the best service to the people that I serve. And I want to be up on top of, like, I just was in Poughkeepsie, New York, for a credible messenger training. And that right there, that credible messenger movement, I'm very excited about that credible messenger movement.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, so it's people who've been involved in the system or were affected by the system, being mentors to people who like I got the reentry part of. I didn't even acknowledge the reentry part. So we're doing a reentry services for ex-offenders, and we'll be matching credible messengers, not just somebody who came home from jail and was like, "Oh, let me tell my story." Nah, we got people who came home from jail and show a transformation.
Right.
They, got on their ish, doing what they supposed to do, doing what they need to do. Those type of people that's providing an impact. We're gonna match them with people who coming home who had similar struggles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And match them together and make magic.
Hey man, listen, that sounds fantastic, and we need more of it in the community. Man, wow, because a lot of people within my family, we've all kind of worked within the correction system in some way, shape, or form. And you see a whole nother side of it when you have family members who work within the jail system, and you see how some of the inmates and some of the people are not being treated fairly just because they made a mistake, And I believe that, my sister's a huge advocate. My mom's a huge advocate. They're always like, okay, I understand this might have happened, but they need X, Y, and Z. They still need this to survive. They need to be treated like a human being.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, no, I definitely appreciate that. So, I'm definitely going to let my mom and my sister, my family know, about the work that you're doing. If any way that they can connect with you and provide you with any type of information that's useful to you, I'm sure they wouldn't mind doing that, definitely. Matt, tell me, what do you want to get into, though? Like, that you have not touched yet, but you were like, I see that, and that's something I know that I want to get into.
Man, I feel like I'm in it. Like,
you
as
feel
far
like you're
as
already there.
Yeah, so what's fulfilling to me is working with kids and just working with anybody where I work with them and I see progress, and they see progress, and they see, man, I got a mentee, right? Oh, so I was in a web series called Mayhem, right?
Okay.
And it was a popular web series, right? So I got a young man from Chicago. He was following me on Instagram through seeing me on the show, and he said he reached out, he inboxed me like, "Yo, like what you doing?" He saw me posting a lot about the mentoring and stuff. So he was like, "Yo, I'm 27, been selling drugs my whole life, gang. I don't want to do this no more. I see you doing mentoring. Can you mentor me?" I'm like, wow, absolutely. I definitely could mentor you. I've been working with him for like the past 2 years, to where he right now he owns a home.
Wow.
He went from he picked up he was into the photography before. He picked the camera back up.
Okay.
He started doing that. And right now we still working on the credit. His credit zoomed up since we've been working together, and he's looking into buying some vacant properties in Chicago and a laundromat actually.
Oh, you trying to buy and hold?
Yeah, because he didn't realize how inexpensive some of this stuff was. He like you see a $400,000 house, you think you got to pay $400,000 cash.
Yeah, and that ain't the case. Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that though. So like the last call we had on Monday, we was going through the motions, looking at vacant properties, looking at laundromats, seeing what makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So just like that, like somebody who came from that and was doing that, and they reached out, and now I see the progress, and now I see he got the LLC. He started his business. He making money doing some of the stuff that he loved to do.
Right. Now, let me ask you a question, because you said that gentleman, he was, in the game, he was active, right?
Yeah.
That's a tough spot for some of our youth right now. Some of them got into the gangs because of the support system, like the camaraderie, the community, being that the money, obviously, for some of the males, the cars, the women's. All right. How would you say would be the best way for a young man who is active, right? They in the gangs, they active. The best way for them to be able to get out of that situation and no longer be active when they don't want to do it anymore. Because it's not always as easy as I quit. See y'all later.
Nah, it's not that easy. But what I would say, if his big homies is really big homies,
right?
They should, and they see him trying to move towards a positive direction,
right?
They shouldn't stop him from moving towards it. You could still be a gang member, but you don't have to be an active gang member.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could work in City Hall and be a blood, but you're not an active gang member. You know what I'm saying? So what I would say is reach out to your big homies that has some sense and that's moving in the right direction, and reach out to them and let them know what your plans are.
Right.
I would definitely say that, and get around people who doing the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Get around people who are gang members who are not active anymore. Have conversations with them.
Right. Because shoot, you look in the entertainment industry all the time. You see like them cats ain't active.
Yeah, Snoop is not an active gang member. He rep Crip. He gonna dance it. He gonna wear it. But he doing a lot of positive things, and there's a lot of people following behind the stuff that he doing.
And unfortunately, most people don't know that whole cause, that whole thing that started, like with the Bloods and the Crips and everything, that it didn't start off as something negative. It started off as something positive, a community initiative. And then it turned into something completely different. Yeah. That's a whole nother story. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But just letting everybody know who's listening, who is active and stuff like that, man, it was supposed to be a positive thing. It's been turned into something different. So if you're feeling like, yo, this ain't it, this ain't the route that I'm trying to go, I need to get out, contact my boy.
Yeah, you definitely could contact me. The crazy thing is I got a lot of I network with a lot of the big homies.
Right.
Like a lot of the people that got Stain and we on an even playing field, and we could have a conversation. And I don't know none of them that'll push somebody who want positive, that'll push them in the wrong direction. I know a lot of them. If that's what you want to do, then they're gonna give you their blessings.
Right. And what I've also noticed is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I've noticed that there's been a shift, like a transition happening with some of these gang cultures, specifically Blood and Crip, where they're like, listen, we need to do some business ventures based off of the popularity that we already have. So I saw the Cryptocola, Blood Pop, right? And I was like, ooh, I saw they had, man, what they had, like the little mini cycles or whatever. Yeah. Like it was a lot of stuff I was saying. I was like, yo,
that's my guy, Zoo and Burlington.
Oh, Zoo Life, yeah. Shout out to Zoo Life.
Boy, Zoo Life.
Man, yeah. And I see all the moves that he's been making. I was like, yo, my man, and I met him before. We had opportunity to talk once or twice. And I saw the moves that he was making. He was doing real estate and stuff like that. And I was like, man, he's shifting the narrative. He's changing the whole way that people look at this stuff. And it's like, listen, it's not what you think it is, right? We can do this. We can do business. Like, we don't have to rely. It's not about guns and drugs and all that stuff. Stop doing all that stuff. Like, you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to end up in jail, taken away from your family for life. Right. Put yourself in a situation where you can own real estate. You can have a business. You can do things the legal way. And they can show you how. So get connected with Antoine Nelson. Get connected with Zoo Life. Anybody that's a part of that, bro, they're doing things the right way.
Streets is dead.
Oh, it's
Streets
over.
is dead.
It's
over. A lot of ways to make legal money out here. A lot of different ways to make legal money. I mean, just figure out what your passion is, then figure out a way to make money doing that.
Absolutely. Bruh, listen. All right, before we get out of here, let me know, because I normally like to ask before the end of the podcast, I like to ask, what was that one mental shift that happened for you, right? I know that's deep. It's always deep for everybody. What was that one mental shift? Not a strategy that you came up with or whatever, or a business thing or a play that because everybody thinks that, because they'll come to people and say, "Yo, man, all right, what should I do? What kind of play should I make? What money should I invest in?" It's like, yo, before you get to the money and the strategies and the business and all that extra stuff, there has to be it's a specific type of mental shift that has to happen for everybody. And I don't know what yours is, what it's gonna be for you. Mine might have been different from yours. So I'm gonna ask you, what was the mental shift? What was that one thing that changed for you where you were like, okay, I gotta grow. I gotta grow in this area.
It was a mix of a couple things. But one I wanna say was like reading the book The Secret.
Okay.
And manifesting.
Okay.
And I did a lot of research on manifesting. And then if you just sit back, if you really think about it, you don't even have to believe in manifestation. But for a person, let's just say a person, like on the way here today, right? I know I was gonna be 6 minutes late, right? At the thing, I was on the phone and I was saying, it's gonna be a parking lot. I mean, it's gonna be a parking spot right in the front for me. I ain't even gonna have to wait for a parking spot. Because I'm thinking like you got people that thinking like, man, when I get over here, ain't gonna be no parking spot. And guess what? When you get over there, ain't gonna be no parking spot. Right? When I pulled up, the parking spot, my car is right there in the front.
You got a better parking spot than me.
It's right there in the front because I think positively now. Right. I don't think the worst. I think all great things are gonna happen. Right. I speak life over myself and I speak life over my people. And if anybody is talking negative around me, like, I'm checking them right then and there. They like, oh, man, it's 9 a.m. You like, oh, man, today about to be the worst day ever. You claiming the worst day ever.
Right.
It's 9 a.m., something bad just happened. I'm like, woo, that means the rest of the day going to be lovely. It's a mindset thing.
Right.
It's a mindset. What is it? Where your thoughts go, energy flows where your thoughts go?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Where the energy goes where your thoughts flow. You think positive things start to happen. You think negative, oh man, this car is a piece of junk. Flat tire.
Right. Wow. So with that being said, y'all understand about perspective, right? It's the way that you see things. And that's crazy because I literally just did a presentation talking about perspective, right? Yeah. That's crazy. See? Stuff just happens. So there you go. So listen, if y'all was listening to that, I hope y'all held on, gravitated to that, man, because that thing right there is super important. I try to keep a positive mindset about everything that I do, everywhere I go, the people that I'm around at all times. With that being said, we got to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Above Our Studios, for letting us be here, rock out, do our thing, do this podcast thing that we're doing, man. We're appreciative for it. You see, we got the artists behind us. It's going to be changing up every month with different artists. So if you want any of the pieces of art that you're seeing here, you can always come on in here and you can grab that. So shout out to the owner, co-owner, D Muse, for allowing us to be here, do our thing with the Living Purpose podcast. So we're going to wrap this up. Just give the people just one piece of advice that has helped you, in your career, what you've been able to do and all you've been able to achieve. You can take us out with that, and then we'll close this thing out.
I'm going to say this. Definitely work hard, but also if you have family and you have children, at some point you got to work towards that balance, right? Mm-hmm. Like a couple years ago, I had to apologize to somebody. I mean, I was working. You can't tell me I was out working, but I noticed that I was neglecting my family.
Right.
I'm working out. I'm doing this in the community, but I got teenage daughters in the household, like, that I need to be mentoring them a little more. You know what I'm saying? So, work hard, but know that you have to have a balance with family and your work.
Right. All right. Hey, listen, that's a word right there. And I'll be honest with you. That's something I experienced myself, man. I was out there trying to save the world, doing all types of speaking engagements, speaking here and there, showing up at every event, pouring my heart into the youth, into the community. And I'm coming home and giving my wife the leftovers. So I had to have a real conversation with my wife and tell her that, some things was going to change. And since then, we've been in a good place as far as our marriage. So, Suge, love you. Appreciate you for putting up with my nonsense and still sticking with me. I appreciate you. I love you to life. And so with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in to the Living Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Brad B. Rad Butler II. And I encourage every last one of you to make your next day your best day because the work you've done today is not not enough to get you through tomorrow. We'll see you on the next episode.